If you're going to preface the title of the movie with the company name or even the director, try to make sure that the movie's actually good. Let's review Fantasy Island. Fantasy Island stars Lucy Hale, Maggie Q, Michael Pena, and is directed by Jeff Wadlow. What is up, guys? We are knee-deep in the first quarter of the year where we know we get a lot of the crap. There are some good movies that come out, but no surprise here. I went into this movie, Fantasy Island, from the same director and some of the writers of the worst movie of, I think it was 2017, or was it 2018? Truth or Dare. Oh my God, that movie, I hated the movie. When your main marketing tool for a movie is I guess you call it a derp face, that's not a good sign at all. And that was the worst part of that movie. But we're not here to talk about Truth or Dare. We're here to talk about Fantasy Island. And somebody actually commented on a recent Instagram post that I did, saying that would this one probably get a looped in hell? I still haven't decided yet. As of my verbiage right now, I still haven't decided yet if I'm giving this movie a looped in hell, because it's damn close. And that's not just a gimmick that I do. If I give a movie a looped in hell, I genuinely hate the movie with a fiery passion of 1,000 suns. But I also respect the filmmaking process. And if the movie has merit, then of course I don't want to give it a looped in hell. I've only given a handful of movies out of 1,000 videos a looped in hell. So know that I take that very seriously. And real quick before we dive deep, Halloween news and updates on Instagram. He asked me if I'd give him a shout out. His channel mostly consists of like Halloween updates for like Halloween kills. Some really interesting stuff in there, so definitely check him out on Instagram. But anyway, quick plot synopsis. I didn't realize that this was actually a retelling of the Fantasy Island TV show. I never was into the Fantasy Island TV show, but when I going into this, I didn't know if it was until the very end. Then I realized, okay, yeah, I guess that's what they're going for here. I mean, it's a day and age of remakes and reboots and everything anyway, so it makes sense. The trailer did show a little bit of promise because it had more of like a thriller, even maybe horror-ish vibe to it. And jumping straight into the cons, this feels very little in the way of horror. And I can't really fault them because I don't know if they're marketing it like that. It felt like what the trailer felt like. I will definitely give it that. So I guess it's not a straight up con. You see, I already did it. I already started jumping into the cons. I didn't even mean to. But anyway, back on board, talking about the plot synopsis. You have these strangers that come to this island, and it's supposed to be your wildest fantasies, they will come true. You just make the wish, and somehow, some way, it happens. And they do explain that in this movie, how it happens. And I'll give them that credit. And so then we're really just kind of introduced to all these characters, and we're basically a fly on the wall into what's going on with them. First off, our main character, Lucy Hale, who was the main character in Truth or Dare. She's not a bad actress. She had this bully played by Portia Doubleday, who I'm a big fan of, actually. She was actually in the show Mr. Robot. Loved her in that show. But she plays the bully, Sonia. And so Lucy Hale, who plays Melanie, she's given the opportunity to get a little bit of revenge. But in her mind, this isn't real. She doesn't think that she's actually getting revenge on the real person. And then quickly she realizes that this is the real person. And so then throughout the rest of the movie, they are together and they're kind of working through these emotions and feelings. That is the one and probably only part I actually enjoyed about this movie. I enjoyed that whole little arc with them two characters. Next up, we got Maggie Q, who had some regrets in her past. She wished she would have had a family, a husband, but she chose a different route. So she's got a lot of regrets, and there's a little bit more that I won't go into because that's kind of spoilerish, and who cares. But she comes to Fantasy Island because she is given this opportunity to rethink her decision. And just a sidestep here, this particular portion of the movie, it just felt way too like realistic. Like there's no way that they could pull up this whole thing and make it feel this real. All the buildings, the people, everything, it feels like it's actually happening. And you have to reach a long way to buy that. But then you got these two guys who they just want to party and get laid. And they're really kind of the comic relief of the movie, but it feels like they're wedging a different type of movie in with a thriller horror movie. They're pretty much the frat boy sorority comedy movie that comes out every couple of years. And it has throwaway characters. And these two characters are complete throwaway characters. And then lastly, you got this guy, he wants to be a soldier. He wishes he could go on like this quest. Because his father died when he was very young, and so he wants to kind of rediscover, I guess, what his father went through. And of course, throughout the movie, all these little stories, they intertwine. But my big, major issue with this movie is I don't care. I don't care because I can't get invested in any of these characters. I think when you have 4 different stories going on at the same time, and you only really care about one of them, because that was my situation. I was into the story with Lucy Hale and Portia Doubleday. The other ones, I was basically wanting to fall asleep throughout every story that was going on, just because there are different and much better versions of their stories in other movies. And that's fine. You don't have to like constantly up the ante with every movie, although that's what you should strive for. But to me, this whole thing, from the writing, from the directing, it all felt stock. It all felt lazy and uninteresting. It just felt really uninteresting. And we've seen these movies so many times, year after year, and here we are again. And in the intro of this video, I talked about how Blumhouse, they're calling these movies Blumhouse's Fantasy Island, Blumhouse's Truth or Dare. It's good that they're standing behind their products. They're proud of their products, but these aren't good movies. They're just not good movies at all. I couldn't have a good time with this movie at all. And I'm not going to complain that it wasn't like horror. It definitely had some thriller elements to it. So it wasn't deceiving at all. But at the end of the day, again, just not a good movie whatsoever. Didn't even mention Michael Pena, who plays Rourke, the guy that's behind this whole endeavor, and he has like a personal stake in this. So it does explain why he does all this. But at the end of the day, guys, it wasn't funny and it wasn't fun. And that was a Howard Stern reference. And if I could do anything with this review, if I could have some kind of fun with it, then I'll plug in a Howard Stern reference, because that's all I got. At the end of the day, I'm not going to give it a loop in hell, though, just because I did like that one little storyline. So I'm going to give it a 2 hours lost. And you know what? I would have welcomed them just focusing on that one storyline, this revenge storyline of somebody who was bullied in high school, because there was a really interesting arc to that. You had Michael Rooker, who is great. Everybody loves Michael Rooker, right? And he has this moment with these 2 girls, and he tells one of them, you need to apologize because you were a complete bitch. And you need to grow the hell up, because you know what? You're giving them power over you, and you can't do that. And I really enjoyed that part of the movie, and that's why I'm not going to give it a looped in hell. Definitely a 2 hours lost. So anyway, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Fantasy Island. Looking forward to hearing it. Also, follow me at Drumdums on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.